Hey everybody, Jim Vavida here with Mike O'Shea. We're on the west coast of Ireland. Now, Mike, you worked on both Star Wars The Last Jedi, a little bit on Star Wars The Force Awakens. Skellig Michael is right behind us, and of course that doubles as Ahch-To in Star Wars Last Jedi and in The Force Awakens. I guess in a nutshell, making that journey out there and filming out there, it's a formidable task. Is it the most difficult thing you've probably done?
Yeah, I think, I suppose from a logistical point of view, and just while it doesn't look very far out to sea, it's 11 miles out.
Yeah.
It's very small boats. The pier on the island is quite small because of the Atlantic Ocean. It's got to be quite small. It just wouldn't be there otherwise. So the logistics of trying to get it out there, most of the passenger boats are only like for 12 people.
Right.
There's only one cargo boat over there. So trying to get even the equipment out to the island, which was 16 tons of equipment.
16 tons.
And there's no crane at the pier, so you've got to lift everything on by hand to put it on the boat. You get the boats out there.
How many guys did you even have?
We had 30 guys on it.
And you had to carry all that up.
We carried every single piece of that up. So some of the stuff was obviously quite light, but I mean, the big generator we had was 350 pounds, over 350 pounds.
Yeah.
And then we had to put scaffold onto it to make it so we could carry it. So I mean, the actual loading and stuff like that, we spent probably the bones of 10 days just getting equipment up the island.
Because I mean, you also have to be mindful of the historical significance of Skellig Michael. It was in ancient times the monks that basically escaped out there so they could be closer to God, and yet they still get raided by Vikings. So you can't get away from any trouble.
And I mean, that's the thing about it, is like the steps out there aren't conventional. When we talk about steps, I mean, people think of a conventional step. I mean, some of these steps are this deep, some are this deep, some are this high, some are this high. So there's nothing is even. So trying to walk, even to trying to mind, most people would struggle to mind themselves going up there.
Right.
It's quite an achievement to get to the top and back down, and people are quite happy with that. If I put a load up on your back that weighs 60 or 80 pounds and say, please carry that up there, and when you come back down, you're going again straight away,
Right.
I mean, we had our guys actually, it was quite funny because we put a lot of thought into like how much work they were going to be doing and how much diet, and they needed a day. And I do a lot of polar expeditions, so I kind of calculate how much thing. And we reckon we were burning up to 8,000 to 9,000 calories each per day.
You hear that, Skellig, LA? That's your next diet thing right there. So obviously, filming there is not practical. They filmed a few days out there for Force Awakens and then for Last Jedi as well. So you had to basically find other locations here in Ireland to double for that. What location did you use for essentially the cliffside scene where we first come back and we see Luke Skywalker and he does his little bit with the lightsaber?
That was actually done on Skellig.
Oh, you did do that one on Skellig.
So basically, so 2014 was 7 with J.J. Abrams, and then in 2015 we went back to Skellig again.
Okay.
And we did another 3 days with Ryan.
Right.
And that's where some of the scenes where you see them walking up in the steps up into the distance, and you see the lightsaber going over, you see the porgs jumping around the place. So that was actually all shot on Skellig.
Okay.
And also Rey with the lightsaber where she cuts the stone. So that's called the Wailing Woman. There's some holes in that stone and the wind blows through it. And on if the wind is blowing, you can actually hear that thing humming,
Right.
And so that was done all there, and then it transferred back in. So all the stuff with the Millennium Falcon, the stuff with the Sea Cow was obviously shot just down here.
You were saying that's and then the X-Wing fighters.
X-Wing was just down inside here. Sybil Head, which is just over here, maybe like 15 minutes drive. That's where the village was based.
Right, the caretaker. That didn't make it in the movie, unfortunately, but it's great. It's on the Blu-ray, which comes out March 27th. Plug. Now, the Sea Cow thing, I guess to give people an idea in a nutshell, you had to build a whole kind of frame off-site, and you had to chopper it in.
So we brought the frame in first. So we had to build access first. So we probably brought about 50 tons of scaffolding, which we carried from over here by hand all the way down down there. And then just down there at the end, we started building an actual walkway so we could access people to the site.
And that's before you even bring in I believe you said it was 800 pounds
over 800 pounds, yeah. So we basically, we attached the frame on the rock down there, and then we flew from the car park where we started walking this morning, we flew the Sea Cow out by helicopter. And then we were trying to land, and the Sea Cow is a big monster, and trying to get that onto a frame on that piece of rock. But I mean,
with what, 5 puppeteers in there? Is that it?
Yeah. Well, obviously we put them in afterwards.
Exactly. You must have been thinking it could have been CG, but it looks great. I love the practical
it's the real thing, and that was amazing to see that. But I mean, I suppose for me the amazing part was spending You know, nearly 5 weeks working here.
Right.
For that shot, you know, and
for,
it was
just seconds, but it's a great image, and you must be very proud of all the work you've done, and the fact that it's brought so many people now to come to Ireland and want to see these sites and everything. So
well, I think it showcased. I mean, when I went to see the film, we didn't know, you know, I didn't know whether it was going to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it was, you know. So to actually see how much was showcased in Ireland, but how much was, and I don't think people realize this, how much it was just actual raw natural footage. Yeah. That was the bit I was expecting more to be done with it. So the bit that amazed me was how much it was actual raw footage. And that's what Ireland looks like, you know. So it's and I mean, you're here today, you can see that. So I mean, I think that for me was actually really special to see, one, how much of Ireland featured it, but also they didn't interfere as much with it. But I thought that was that was the best bit for me, you know. Well, congratulations on working on the film. Again, Star Wars: The Last Jedi is available on digital now. It comes out on Blu-ray on March 27th. So for all things movies, keep it here on IGN.